more room. It always looks like I'm way closer.
We need to address the elephant in the room, and that's that I have not touched the Mustang in like a year. I mean, I did some small stuff with it here and there throughout the last year, but after I got wrapped up with school and realizing how much time the GT350 body kit was gonna take, it was impossible for me to complete the project at the time because it was the only car that I had running and driving. And so I was trying to get the 944 up and running, and that was just creating more issues and costing a lot more money, and it wasn't the original plan with the car. And so I went off the deep end. Like I got lost. I didn't know what the heck I was doing. I didn't have a good game plan, and I'm somebody that I like to plan things out before I just start jumping into something. Even if it's like something small and something I've never done before, I like to at least have an idea. Crows yelling at me, but I like to have an idea of what I'm gonna do before I get into it. So all of that has changed though, now that I have the Mazda to drive around in. And so both the Porsche and the Mustang are sitting. And since they're sitting, that's the perfect opportunity to pull every single body panel off the car and do it right. So I know it's been a long time, and I appreciate you guys for having patience and waiting around. If you've subscribed a long time ago, then I hope you stuck around this long. We're gonna start pulling the bumper back off and try to get this thing to fit once and for all. So as you guys can see, this thing looks really rough. So essentially what happened, if you guys don't remember, just a quick refresh, the bumper was kind of warped in the middle, and because of that, the sides where it lines up with the quarter panels were in a little bit. This one still is. It's just, you can see the lip is kind of in slightly, so I'm gonna have to work that out, probably sand down this middle section and then add some material on the inside and kind of work my way through that. But then same story over here. Both these sides are in a little bit, and so what I was doing was just extending the fiberglass out somewhat. So this surface is going to need to get sanded smooth to make sure that this body line continues. Obviously these look like the surface of the moon right now, not looking very good. Originally I was doing all this by hand because I didn't want to splurge and spend money. Fortunately for me, I worked all summer, so I was able to buy a very cheap electric sander off of Amazon. Now most people say don't buy power tools off of Amazon, and I would agree. This one, however, comes with a 2-year warranty from the manufacturer. So if it breaks, I'm gonna send an email, get real upset, and then they'll just send me more crap, and I'll just keep doing that if they break. But this one had the best reviews for the price, so hopefully it does okay. It's not sponsored, so I'm gonna be honest about this thing. Build quality seems certainly not a top of the line production piece, but I think it's gonna serve me well for just sanding a bunch of fiberglass for hours on it. So thus far, the electric sanders have been a success. I also have this little black one that my dad gave me, and this one's nice because it doesn't take off as much material as that other one, but the sandpaper wraps around this lip, so I was able to use it to kind of make this lip as consistent as possible. So I'm going to continue with that. This is looking a lot smoother, but obviously I still have hours and hours of this, so I won't bore you with that. I want to go ahead and show some ideas that I have for how to mount the side of the bumper onto the car to keep it from coming out, because originally I was trying to make it fit with the stock brackets, this one up here and this one as well, but the problem I'm running into is that getting the fiberglass thin enough to fit inside of these little spaces is just really difficult. And so I think as of right now I'm still going to try to utilize this one, but I am going to do away with this side bracket. So something I've been thinking about for a while is how to actually attach the bumper onto the side of the car if I'm not going to be using the stock brackets. So what I've come up with is this little contraption. These are like little quick connect buttons. So they have this little rod with a pin on the end of it, or like a ball end. It's kind of like your shoulder, like a ball and socket type thing. So this pin has the little knob at the end, and then it presses into this thing. and it clicks in place, and then you have a little quick connect panel. And then of course you just press the button and it comes out. So what I've put on here in the middle, if you see there's a little rubber piece, that's just like a 3/4 inch grommet that I found. I did some digging online and bought a bunch of random stuff to try to find something that would fit. And this one seems like the best bet. So essentially the reason why I need a grommet is because this is gonna see a lot of vibration. There's gonna be a lot of outside forces acting on the bumper all the time. If the button itself is connected directly to the fiberglass, I'm worried that it's gonna cause some minor cracking over time, which could just lead to more fiberglass work in my future. So if I have some sort of little rubber isolator that's gonna help minimize some of the energy transferring to the fiberglass, then that's a good thing. So then I just have to figure out how I'm going to attach this pin onto the car. Now I would really like to have that quick connect button be as close to the top of the quarter panel as possible. So it would end up being somewhere in the corner of the bumper like this. The challenge is that the body has this angle inward, which is kind of annoying. I was hoping that would be a right angle. I'm trying to figure out a way to not have to modify the body of the car, but still have this as far up as possible, because I just want that button to be right about here. If I do have to move it down a little bit, it's not the end of the world, but if it ended up having to be somewhere down here, then that's starting to become a problem. So I'm thinking I might be able to get away with it, but I'm not certain yet. So now my only dilemma is I need to build some sort of bracket that's gonna hold this pin on there. I have some ideas, but nothing is set in stone yet. So I'm actually gonna stop recording for the rest of tonight, and I'm gonna draw some stuff up. And then tomorrow I'm gonna come back with some of my ideas, show you guys what I'm thinking, and then we'll start building.
The next day.
All right guys, it's the next day now. Come up with some ideas. Ryan has also joined the party.
You wanted to start filming as soon as I took my shirt off.
You just wanted to take your shirt off as soon as I was ready to start filming.
Yeah.
Anyway, Ryan, shirtless as ever. I decided that I'm going to modify the chassis a little bit. I mentioned earlier in the video that I was like trying not to, but I just figured my job's gonna be a lot easier if I just get a little bit of the metal out of the way. And luckily, there's like, you guys can't really see it right now, but there's nothing behind it. It's literally just, they angled the piece of metal to keep the dust out, so I can solve the dust problem later, but I just need it out of the way for right now. Alright, so we cut off the excess metal on the chassis that we needed to remove. So up next we're going to fabricate something using some scrap metal that I have. I don't know exactly how it's going to look yet. I have some ideas in mind that I was thinking about last night. But before we do that, we're going to go get lunch. And Ryan's going to let me drive his car. Alright, driving the Burrs. Yeah. Yeah, so we didn't make a video about it, but we put some lowering springs on this car. Is that in second? Do you have a short throw shifter on here?
Vaguely. It's a stock one, so it barely counts.
Yeah. The clutch in this car is strange. It's like, it feels good, but it's really soft. I'm just used to the Mustang. It has a really stiff clutch.
Yeah, just because I don't need a calf workout.
Yeah. I'm going this way because it's the only way I'm going to get some sort of curvy roads.
So this is
oh, I was thinking this car. Oh yeah, dude, she's fucking riding on rails.
Oh yeah.
Oh, sick.
Love this thing.
Yeah, dude, I don't speak Japanese. What gear am I in? Actually, there's a readout on this.
Yeah, it actually does in the middle of the dash, like beneath the mile per hour. It says 2 right now there. That's your gear. It only tells you when you're fully engaged.
Holy shit, dude, it's like a go-kart. That's like the most I've ever sent your car.
Oh yeah.
4,500 RPM.
Oh yeah. Honestly, from a dig, you could clutch drop it at 4K.
Yeah.
And
I just think
it goes.
The biggest complaint, I mean, obviously this isn't a new complaint, it's just everybody's complaint is like, okay, second gear, 30 miles an hour. It's just like, oh, it's lacking that oomph, you know what I mean?
It doesn't have a lot of torque at that range.
No. But first gear would have been, you know, as soon as you shift from first to second, it's just like, oh,
yeah.
fuck. This thing's sweet, though. Like, I've always liked the BRZ. I guess I didn't get one because it was like, the Mustang was like faster and in my opinion like just as accessible for aftermarket stuff as the BRZ, and it was cheaper. Granted, it's not going to handle like this, it's a different car, but like at the time when I was 17 trying to buy my first car, I was like, you know what, like I'm gonna get the Mustang, because this was still in like the $15,000 to $20,000 range, and now people just want ridiculous money for them. I think people just want ridiculous money for everything, so it's kind of like...
Yeah, I can sell this car for a $5,000 profit, and I've put 40,000 miles on it.
Yeah, so maybe I should have got one when they were cheaper. But I wasn't gonna be just another BRZ boy, you know? There's a lot of those.
Yeah. Wow.
It's a little bit hard to stand out. Well, no offense to you, but I just mean like for content creation.
Yeah.
There's
a million BRZs out there.
Whereas like there are a lot of Mustang owners too, but in the Northwest area, it was just like there's not as many. And on YouTube, there was still space for me to grow, whereas it would have been tough with this car.
Yeah.
Tough to do something unique.
I did get the best compliment of my life the other day, though.
What did they say?
They said that I have the best built BRZ that they've seen.
Nice.
Because it looks pretty close to stock, but with some subtle upgrades.
The wheels are really nice. I really like the way they look.
Very happy with these wheels.
Broski. Oh my god.
Yeah, now you...
I'm driving a BRZ.
You sound like me now, too.
Yeah, this car makes you drive like a... What do you... I have a stop sign. What are you doing?
See,
sir?
people just make dumb mistakes around you. And speaking of there being a million BRZs, there's a BRZ right back there.
Later.
Fuck off.
We spy a wild Kaidan in its natural habitat.
Whoa! So, let's see here. Pop them over here. These are way too long. So we're gonna cut them. 4 inches in length.
Perfect, just like me.
Yeah, well above average.
I don't know about that one.
Way above average.
Whatever helps me sleep at night, I guess.
I'm hoping that the vision will start to come to life here, because it's really hard to explain, but you kind of just have to look and see what I'm thinking. So, that piece is gonna be bolted onto the chassis, and then this piece that I've welded at a 90-degree angle will come out. And then now we need to figure out what depth we're gonna have our vertical piece be. So the vertical part will come up, and then I'll drill a hole in that, and the pin will be connected to the vertical piece. So making progress, but it's always kind of hard to convey it over video. So I hope this is kind of making sense. I'm sure a lot of you guys can picture it, but anyway, I'm just gonna do a sick little montage, just clip some pieces together, and then we'll have our first prototype bracket. I think it's pretty close to how I want it. Obviously this is too close to the tire, so we're gonna cut that out. I'm gonna fully weld this in and then probably shave this back a bit. And then on the inside pieces, we'll just cut out some of this, make it look a little nicer, just make sure we have extra clearance for the tire, because it shouldn't hit, but I don't wanna take a risk. All right guys, so it's been another day. I spent some more time working with this, but I think I've decided that I'm going to go ahead and make a 3D model of it, because I don't really have the tools that I need to create a metal version, at least not accurately enough to where I would want to put it onto the car. But what I do have is a 3D printer, and I figured if I have a 3D model of it, then it's going to be easier for me to share with you guys if you guys are following along with this body kit series. But yeah, I just think I have more things that I can do in the plastic realm, and it'll be lighter and cheaper. So I'm going to go ahead and work with that off camera for a couple days. I don't know when exactly that will happen, but I'm also going to do some body work off camera, just because you guys have seen me sand stuff for hours probably. Like, it's just a lot. So the next update, we will have the bumper mounted onto the car. I hope you guys are looking forward to that. If you like this video, make sure you leave a like down below. Consider subscribing for more car content, and as always, I'll see you guys in the next video. Peace out and dream big.